What is up, 12s? My heart is absolutely racing right now, because what I have to share today is going to completely flip the script on how you see our team's future this offseason. There is a massive amount of movement happening behind the scenes at Lumen Field, and the vibes are tense to say the least. Drastic calls are being made, and the pieces of our championship roster are moving in ways nobody saw coming. You seriously won't believe what we have on tap today. So grab a coffee, hit that like button, and let's dive straight into the news. Also, make sure to subscribe so we can hit that 1,000 subscriber goal and show the world the power of the 12th man. You know that feeling where our championship squad feels like a family that should never be broken up? Well, the Seattle Seahawks entered this offseason with the Herculean task of keeping the core that brought home that Super Bowl trophy without absolutely destroying the salary cap. But look, the NFL is a cold business. Sometimes, to keep the stars that shine under the bright lights, the sacrifice comes from places you'd least expect. We have this one player who doesn't always grab the front page headlines every Sunday, but he has become an absolute fan favorite for everyone screaming in the stands. He isn't necessarily the guy for those explosive 80-yard house calls, but he's the warrior who does the dirty work. He blocks like a Mack truck and plays with more heart than almost anyone on the field. However, the front office just made a move that has left a lot of us with our jaws on the floor and our hearts heavy. The bombshell just dropped that the Seahawks have decided not to tender the contract offer needed to keep Bobo as a restricted free agent. You heard that right. Our guy Bobo, who beat every single odd as an undrafted free agent and became a vital piece of that locker room culture, is now an unrestricted free agent. In plain English, that means he's free to sign with any of the other 31 teams in the league at any moment. But before you spiral and start questioning Mike Macdonald and the staff, let's look at the strategy behind this gamble. If Seattle had gone with the standard tender, they would have had to cough up at least $3.2 million for him this season. The plan from the front office is actually to bring Bobo back, but on a deal that doesn't strangle our cap space, likely somewhere around the $2 million mark. It is a risky bet, because the dude played the Super Bowl with a broken hand. That kind of grit is rare, and it definitely catches the eyes of our rivals. He is an elite blocker in the run game and a silent leader. Losing a guy like that just to save $1 million would be a massive blow to the culture we've built. The 12s are already blowing up social media, demanding he stays put. But hold on, because if the Bobo news is you stressed, what is coming up next is even more unbelievable. If you thought the Bobo situation was our biggest headache, brace yourself, because what is happening in our backfield is enough to keep you up at night. The Seattle Seahawks are prepping for a reality that nobody wanted to face this soon, which is life without our superstar Kenneth Walker III. The news that just sent shockwaves through the facility is that he did not receive the franchise tag. This means the man who carried the load last season officially has one foot out the door in Seattle. To make matters even more desperate, our immediate backup, Zach Charbonnet, is going to be sidelined for a huge chunk of next season while he recovers from ACL surgery. We are effectively staring at an empty backfield, but the front office isn't just sitting around watching the ship sink. The strategy right now is aggressive and involves names that nobody expected to see in the Pacific Northwest anytime soon. The Seahawks' radar is locked on two specific targets to rebuild our ground game from scratch. The first name gaining serious steam is Tyler Allgeier, who has been a total stud for the Atlanta Falcons. Allgeier is that classic downhill, physical runner who doesn't shy away from contact. He put up 8 touchdowns last year, even while sharing touches with a blue-chip star. He wants to be a featured back in this league, and Seattle looks like the promised land for him to showcase that potential. But the list doesn't end there, and the second name is what's really sparking heated debates among the analysts and the fans online. We are talking about Brian Robinson, coming straight from our rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. Robinson proved he's a tank back in his Washington days, and he has incredible versatility in the passing game, which is something Coach Macdonald highly values. The most interesting part here is the strategic connection, because Robinson has already worked under our offensive coordinator, Brian Fleury. Just imagine the dynamic of having 2 hungry backs who are cheaper than keeping one isolated superstar. The front office's vision is clear: combine productivity at a fair price point. But as we try to process this radical shift in our offensive identity, a revelation about the real reason behind this split with our MVP has started to leak, and it is a total shocker. Reality just hit the 12s, and it hit hard. Kenneth Walker III, the man who became the first running back this century to hoist the Super Bowl MVP trophy, officially has his bags packed to test the open market. It's a total gut punch to see the hero of our second historic title, the guy who shredded the Patriots for 151 yards of pure talent, left without a franchise tag. The deadline is tomorrow, and the word coming out of ESPN is that the front office is unwilling to shell out the $14.3 million required to keep him for just 1 year. It is a high-stakes gamble that puts Seattle at an emotional and strategic crossroads, unlike anything we have seen in the Mike Macdonald era. Walker's market value is sitting around $9 million a year, and it looks like the Seahawks are playing a dangerous game of poker. They are hoping he won't find astronomical offers out there, so they can potentially bring him back on a team-friendly deal. But the competition is cutthroat. The thought of seeing our number 9 lining up behind Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City is a nightmare no Seattle fan should have to endure. He just had the best season of his career, averaging 4.6 yards per carry and serving as the engine that drove us to glory in the postseason. With Charbonnet hurt, Walker was the identity of this team, scoring 4 massive touchdowns in the playoffs and proving he is elite. Saving money now could cost us everything later, because replacing a generational talent isn't just about the box score. It's about the soul of the offense. The fan base is torn between cap logic and the love for our star. If he really walks, Walker joins a tiny group of MVPs who started the following season in a different jersey. This hurts, fam, seeing our coach celebrating with a trophy right next to him, and knowing that image might be our last memory of him in Seattle is heartbreaking. The pressure on the front office has never been higher, and every second until next Wednesday is going to feel like an eternity of uncertainty. 12s, we are in the middle of a total overhaul, and every move made right now is going to define the Seahawks for years to come. We lost the security of Bobo's contract. We are gambling on the future of our MVP Kenneth Walker for cap space, and we are totally redesigning the backfield with guys like Allgeier and Robinson. It is a game of emotional chess where logic is trying to beat out passion, but the fear of seeing our icons balling out on other fields is real and it stings. So what do you think? Would you let Walker walk if it meant a more balanced roster? Let me know in the comments, drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe.